Disaster. Already. After tonight's performance, my mentor, Tony Kitos, is going to give me a very hard time. In my email, thank you, a few days ago I mentioned that I would like us to have an educational moment at every meeting. No matter if we have 3 speakers, because learning about Toastmasters and about public speaking, it is very important. Tonight, I'm going to skip the educational moment just because my speech is long enough and it's educational anyway. So we'll get it covered. I had a note presentation, but I wanted a new one, a fresh one, fresh eyes, more experience. Of course, I finished it like 20 minutes ago. Now I cannot connect my laptop to my projector, so disaster. We're going to see the slides like this, and I promise you, in a further meeting, I will give the same presentation, but well prepared and no problems at all. Now, do you know about Toastmasters? Who are these guys? Toastmasters International provides a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Their envisioned future is to be the first choice provider of dynamic, high-value communication and leadership skills development. Whatever your grade or position, if you know how and when to speak, and when to remain silent, your chances of real success are proportionally increased. Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters International. Today, Toastmasters around the world are still enjoying the benefits of the wisdom and dedication of this man. Smedley began working as Director of Education for YMCA after he graduated from college. He observed that many of the young patrons needed training in the art of public speaking and in presiding over meetings, and Smedley wanted to help them. He decided the training format would be similar with a social club. Smedley called his group the Toastmasters Club because the activities resembled a banquet with toasts and after-dinner speakers. The young men enjoyed taking turns making speeches and evaluating them, as well as presiding the weekly meetings. The first club was formed in October 2004. As the number of clubs increased dramatically by 1941, Smedley realized that Toastmasters needed his full attention. He resigned for the YMCA and opened a 12 by 16-foot office in a downtown Santa Ana bank with a desk, typewriter, telephone, and second-hand address machine. He hired a secretary to handle the correspondence while he wrote materials for the club's use. Toastmasters continued to grow from a single-room office expanded to 4, and Smedley became educational director and concentrated on learning processes and materials. By 1985, Toastmasters International had 120,000 members and 5,300 clubs worldwide. As the organization had grown its headquarters, in June 1990, Toastmasters International International moved to its current location in Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Today, there are 14,650 clubs in 126 countries, and the membership now exceeds 313,000 people. And today, actually this in October, we celebrate the 90th anniversary of Toastmasters International. In the October Toastmasters magazine, Mohammed Murad, who is the current Toastmasters International president, was talking about the magic equation for success in organizations. Referring to Toastmasters International, he said, "The magic that can make these things happen lies within our members. The uniqueness of Toastmasters is that it relies on people to develop people. Fellow Toastmasters, as we celebrate Toastmasters' 90th anniversary throughout the year, remember that you are the magical ingredient in the organization's success." Now a little bit about how Toastmasters is organized. Worldwide, there are 14 regions, with Americas including regions from 1 through 10. We are included in region 8. And this is our governor, region 8, international president, Dennis Aldrich. Did I get it right? Within region 8, we belong to district 84. And we have our district 84 governor, Mary Carol Howard, with her main people. And we go down to area level. Our club is included in Division D, and Gina Tyson is our division governor. There are 5 areas with their governors, and we are included in area 42, and Paul Tatlan is the area governor. Our club, Central Florida Facilitators, was started on June 30th, 2003 by 2 founders, Jessica Guthrie and Tim Chastain. It took 2 great people willing to improve and willing to give to make it happen. Tim Chastain is a speaker and trainer with a background in both corporate and non-corporate environments. After leaving the corporate world, he devoted himself to helping professionals in job transition. As a trainer, Tim has been very active in Central Florida chapter of American Society of Training and Development, the International Association for Trainers and Related Professionals. I don't know how much he's involved now, but he used to be very active. In our club, each week, the president recognizes a member for extraordinary participation that week with the Tim Chastain Award. Jessica Guthrie started her own business of management consulting this year after being Vice President of Business Strategy for Pfizer. She won many Toastmasters contests from club level to district level. And we have a Jessica Schlemm Guthrie Spirit Award for the most dedicated members throughout the 6-month term. And here we are, ta-da! Big happy family. We learn best in moments of enjoyment, said Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, founder of Toastmasters International. Mr. Bailey.
in front of you, you are going to have some slips of paper to leave your comments. Our speakers grow from these comments. They appreciate these comments. So Madam Timer, may we have a minute on the clock so that the members may write down their comments for Micki D. And Gail is going around with the 50-50.
Good.
Thank you, Madam Timer. The world, if you'll let it, will sometimes beat you down. And I made the decision back in 2009 that I wanted to lead an uncommon life. I didn't want to fall into that misery. And I figured if I want to lead an uncommon life, I might as well grab the book by Tony Dungy called The Uncommon Life. This is one of my strategies of skilling up. Sometimes you wake up, the alarm clock's dreaded, you're not calibrated properly to deal with what's going to be going on in front of you. So I crack open my Tony Dungy devotional, and I read it. And I can tell you what, day in and day out, I've skilled myself up, and my ability to deal with people has increased tenfold. For instance, it's this simple, today's. This was an easy one. Fortunately, I didn't listen to it at the meeting back in 2012, because it told me don't befriend angry people, or associate with hot-tempered people, or you will learn to be like them and endanger your soul. It's that easy. I mean, I already feel better. I already felt pretty good. So grab yourself a daily devotional. This is just one of many. It's one I actually read 3 different ones, because by the time I get to work, I'm usually flustered again, so I need to have another one there. And then I have one on my phone where I'm at stoplights and I'm getting bit. But anyhow. The second speaker this evening, great guy, looks sharp tonight. He always wanted to be a doctor for the wrong reasons. His parents used to call him Dr. Chito, little doctor. He changed his mind after seeing the suffering of his friend after her dad passed away on the operating table. Currently, he's actually looking for work. Maybe if he pursued the medical career, it wouldn't be his position. This evening he will present project number 7 from the Competent Communicator Manual. Research your topic. Please help me welcome Jorge Elias.
Bad Medicine. It was a movie that featured Steven Guttenberg in 1985. Bad Medicine was a rock and roll song by Bon Jovi in 1988. Bad Medicine was a book published in 2008 where it's revealed all the harms that doctors do. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and invisible guest. Today I'll talk about advances in medicine, drugs, and practices that we developed through the years. And maybe the misuse of these tools will lead us to the bad medicine. I'll tell you a little bit about antibiotics, an example on inflammation, and an example on over-prescribing. Antibiotics were invented in the 1940s. Antibiotics are also known as antibacterials. Bacteria are microscopic organisms, some of which we have in our bodies. We do have them, and some of them are good, others are bad. Bacteria is the plural word for bacterium. There are various types of bacteria, but they work in two ways. There are bactericidal, which are the bacteria that interferes with the formation of the cell walls or the contents of a cell. Penicillin is a bactericidal. Luckily, I didn't have the pleasure to use that yet. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928. The other type of bacteria is bacteriostatic. That one stops the multiplying of the bacteria. Antibiotics are given for treatment on infections caused by bacteria. They are not effective on viruses. Therefore, it is very important to find out if the infection we have is caused by a bacteria or a virus. Virus is a small infectious agent that multiplies inside the living cell of other organisms. Virus attacks all life forms, including animals and plants. After my presentation, I will pass a list of new bacterial symptoms. Colds, flu, most coughs, sore throats are not caused by bacteria. To improve and change bad medicine into good medicine, doctors need to only prescribe antibiotics as the last resort, only to benefit the patient. And prescribe the antibiotics for the correct duration and the right dose. We should not ask doctors for antibiotics. In several countries purchasing antibiotics are over the counter. There is a story about this young, beautiful Argentinian model. She was prescribed the wrong dose and the wrong type of antibiotic that damaged her body. It killed some of the enzymes she had inside her body. And she used to sweat and produce this nasty smell continuously. She had to change clothes 4 or 5 times a day. She was miserable. She went to court and she wanted to divorce her husband and let him have her 2-year-old daughter, and her just disappear out of this world. Very tragic story. Inflammation. Inflammation is a normal response and part of the healing mechanism of the body. For example, when we hurt the tendon due to overstretching, it creates a small tear. Our bodies immediately go into the repair mode, and inflammation sets in. It swells our tissue to immobilize the tendon and floods that area with chemicals to produce pain. This pain is for us not to move and let the body heal. If we take anti-inflammatories, we're defeating the purpose of the own body healing process. The healing process for a tendon takes about 10 weeks. It has 3 different steps. And in maybe 1 year, it'll be completely healed without any medication. In 10 weeks, you can work with your arms. I believe we trust the doctors too much. We want a quick fix. We don't want to be sick. Doctors and insurance companies like that. I'll tell you a story about a man in India. He went to see a psychiatrist. He had a problem. He was depressed. He was unhappy at work, unhappy at home. The psychiatrist asked him, so are you taking any medication? And he said, yes. I'm taking 3 medications. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder, and he was prescribed as 3 drugs. He is 50 now, and he tells his psychiatrist his parents took him to the doctor when they found him masturbating in his room. The doctor prescribed a drug, that he's been taking for 33 years that was not needed. The psychiatrist told him, go, stop taking the drugs little by little, but don't just take my advice, go and see somebody else. After a while, he called the psychiatrist again and to thank him. He said, I did what you suggested, and now I'm happy at work, I'm happy with my wife. The human body is a complex machine, marvelous machine, self-healing. It has an immune system that can fight bacteria, and it's supposed to take care of all our ills. Eating well, exercising, will keep human body strong and healthy. We need to achieve mastery to be more proactive, learn more about what we put in our bodies, question the doctors. We don't want to be in a statistic, a movie, or a rock song. Hopefully we'll change the bad medicine for good medicine. Mr. Toastmaster.
At this time, if you would, take out your slips of paper, write out your comments for Mr. Elias. Madam Timer, may we get a minute on the clock? Madam 50-50 ticket taker, money taker, Gail is coming around. Stack it high, watch it fly. The television. Raise your hand if you like to watch the television. We've all heard this before. Moderation is the key to anything. I venture to say that most of the United States of America overwatches their television. Their kids overwatch the television. And I can tell you what, for the most part, nothing good comes from the television. Many people don't go to college and get an advanced degree like Julian because money is an issue. But you don't necessarily need a university to hand you a degree to tell you you have an advanced degree. If you just limit your television watching to say 30 minutes a day and spend time like myself over the last few weeks studying Patricia Fridd, who's considered to be one of the greatest public speakers of all time, because I want to be a great speaker, and coming here is wonderful, I love it, but it's not necessarily enough, it has to be part of a system. So if there's something that you want to be great at, consider turning your TV off, especially the political stuff. Or if you watch the political stuff, then read the Daily Devotional that I just read, because it's just full of hatred. So think about that. In your life, are you where you want to be? Either you're going to keep following this circle of insanity, or you're going to learn you got to make some sacrifices. The TV is a common place to make sacrifices. Our final speaker this evening. It's another Bigfoot sighting. Firmly believes that what you think you become. Very true. The things you think, the things you say, the things you do, even the things that you don't do. They all produce energy that impacts you and the people around you. If you work on creating more positive energy, you're going to see improvements in your work life as well as your personal life. Please help me welcome Lynn A to the lectern to share some rules to fuel your life with positive energy. If she gets her speech, get on board the energy bus.
job or in your personal life, raise your hand. No matter what we do in life, each of us has to deal with negativity. It is how we deal with negativity that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. I recently read this book, The Energy Bus by John Gordon. The book was written as a parable. George, a manager at NCR, is heading a team going nowhere. He is on the verge of being fired from his job as well as losing his wife. Through a series of events, George finds himself on the city bus with a positive motivation guru around him and a group of energy converts in his seats. He doesn't realize it, but he is about to go on the ride of his life. I'm going to share with you a few of the lessons from the bus. First and foremost, you are the driver of your bus. We are each responsible for the direction of our lives, and the direction of our lives is shaped by each day and each thought. If we are complacent in life, we let others drive for us. Julian, is there ever a time you feel things are out of control? Perhaps you feel that people in your life, as well as life itself, make more and more of the decisions for you. Maybe some of you feel like your boss tells you what to do at work. Your spouse orders you around at home. The government tells you what taxes you have to pay. Well, it's time we take charge and drive our bus. No, I'm not saying we should stop paying taxes. What I am saying is that we have to drive our bus. We cannot drive other people's buses, and other people cannot drive our bus. In order for us to drive our bus, we must have a vision and a goal and the persistence to overcome obstacles and move our bus in the right direction. Focus on what it is you want to see yourself doing. The more we think about something, the more we focus on it, the more it shows up in our lives. This is called the law of attraction. So stop thinking about what you don't want and focus on what you do want. Positive energy is the high-octane fuel that will help us to get where we want to go. By positive energy, I mean enthusiasm, optimism, joy, passion, purpose, love, and spirit. We must have positive energy to fuel our lives. We also have to have positive people around us who share our vision. Having negative, going nowhere friends is like having a Weight Watchers meeting at Country Buffet. Negative people contribute to an unproductive work environment and tend to make the others around them feel negative as well. We all face challenges, and with each challenge, there's an opportunity to learn and grow. There will be some people who will not share our vision, and there will even be people who do not want to see us succeed. Instead of driving their own bus, they want to run the ride for everyone else. You can always kick negative people off of your bus from time to time, but remember, more negative people will get on. And we may even have a negative person or energy vampire, such as a boss, that you can't kick off. This is why your positive energy is so important. Your positive energy must be greater than anyone's negativity. Your positive energy must be greater than anyone's negativity. Your certainty must be greater than everyone's doubt. Love your passengers. This is something you cannot fake. You have to be a love magnet. I know it sounds corny, but it's true. So Linda, how do you think we can be a love magnet at work without raising the eyebrows in HR?
By helping others and not keeping all the knowledge to yourself.
Correct. Show your team members that you are truly interested in them and want to see them succeed. If you are a manager, come out of your office and get to know your employees. Listen to them. As a leader, you must want the best for your team members. Finally, have fun and enjoy the ride. Susan, do you ever remember getting tired of playing as a kid? I don't. When you are doing work you enjoy, you don't get tired. You're energized by doing work that you enjoy with people you like. Positive people and positive teams produce positive results. I'm not going to tell you George's outcome in the story in case you want to read the book for yourself. I will say this though. George continued to take the bus to work every morning, even after his car was repaired. Let's all get on the energy bus. I guarantee you it will be the ride of your life.
Madam Typewriter, may we have a minute on the clock? Please write out your comments for Miss Lynn.
Last call.
Item timer, would it be possible to get a timer's report?
Toastmaster, Micki spoke, her required time was 8 to 10 minutes, and she spoke 9 minutes and 31 seconds, so she qualifies. Jorge was 5 to 7 minutes, he spoke 7 minutes and 18 seconds, so he qualifies. And Lynn spoke 6 minutes and 28 seconds, so she qualifies. So all of our speakers qualify this evening.
Please cast your vote for the best speaker, and our very handsome vote counter will come around and gather your votes. And as we are running a couple minutes behind, we are going to launch right into everyone's favorite part of every meeting. Linda Earls. She's going to be doing something a little different tonight. We're all going to get the opportunity to be skilling up with a valuable talent. Let's please let Linda describe the way it will work. People, comments!
Thank you so much. Hoping you all enjoy this and you will be skilled up on talking off the cuff about what is in this box. And I'm going to quickly show it to you so nobody thinks they're going to get there is furry items in the box. I have to warn you. And I'll show you a quick. Everybody look quick, so they don't get really scared to reach under there.
Sorry, I couldn't see it down.
Okay, one. There you go. Okay. Nobody's going to get hurt. They're all good furry items. Some you can give a child, so have no fear. And the direction I want you to take with it is you may speak about the organization that needs to retire this animal and put it up for adoption. You may speak about your organization that is the most lengthy portion of your talk, or your position at that organization or facility or zoo, etc., etc. Or you can talk about the actual adoptee, why they would be good in a home, why they wouldn't be good in a home, their habits, their likes, their dislikes. Take it any way you want. And I invite you to, there's not that many people that don't have roles, so I'm just going to call on you anyway, kind of thing. Miss Tony Gittles. Otherwise known in the animal adoption facility realm as Gittles and Bits. You're going to come up here and sell me this item. Get it adopted. Woo!
We're already behind schedule. Let's go.
That's easier than I'm going to pass it.
Okay, how about, I think everybody's taken, but I'm going to just...
Julian's not.
Oh, Julian's. Well, then, by all means, Mr. Julian
That
Rowe.
whole table there.
Yeah, take one.
And I'd like you to describe your facility or organization, your position, your thoughts on the adoptee, anything you would want, the kind of family that it needs. Poke your hand right in there and grab somebody.
What am I supposed to do? I was counting votes.
Oh, okay. Each one is an animal of some sort. And you need to get these retirees or up for adoption type animals out to the public so that they're not wasting away in some facility. And you represent that facility, and we want to know more about your position, more about the animal you have up, or anything you want to do with it. I want to open it up so that you can play around with the idea of okay.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Now, this is a horse. And in my culture, we eat horses. So you fatten them up, and it's called tasajo. And that is a Spanish dish, which is, and also, he knows what I'm talking about. You know tasajo, right? In the United States, of course, we don't do that. We do a fake tasajo from beef. But in the old country, and in Spain, and in some of the South American countries, tasajo is a salted meat, and it is made from horse meat. And it is really delicious. So what I would encourage each of you is buy a horse. And there's some advantages to the horse. You know, you let him loose in your yard and he keeps your yard mowed. You save money on fertilizer. You save money on paying the lawn guy to come mow your lawn. And then when the sucker gets nice, plump, and fat, you open him up. You slice and dice, you salt them up, and it's called tasajo. Say it after me. Tasajo. 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 There you go. Now the table topics now.
Yes.
We'll put the already adopted over here. Okay.
Just stick my hand right in there. I missed the hug.
All the way to the bottom. I'll help you out.
I was talking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I'm trying to think. The organization that I am here today to adopt this teddy bear is Teds for Kids. Teds for Kids developed 20 years ago in an effort to
bring shoes to the kids that were barefoot and sockless. And this little guy, he was one of the original Ted for Kid. Yes, he's a little old. He's had L'Oreal put on his gray fur, make him look a little younger. However, he is still a vital, useful Ted. And his little kids are in the box. They come included with them. So I hope that you will find in your heart and in your pockets to get little Ted the Kid to your home to remind you that kids need shoes everywhere. Madam could I have Susan, please? And to speed it up, I'm going to pick for you.
Wow.
Get her.
This is a sweet little kitty, and she looks just like me. And she's a little diva, and the reason you want her is because she's so cute for little girls. My niece Savannah would adore her. She is a nice white kitty, and I think that we should be adopting nice kitty cats and doggies from your local shelter. I actually adopted 2 dogs from the shelter. They were a Chihuahua and a Jack Russell Terrier, and they are the most sweet animals I have ever met in my life. Charlie can attest to that, because he babysat our babies for a while. Let's see, what else? I love her though. She is so pretty. I'm going to give her to my niece. I'm going to buy one just for the little girls in my life, and this will be a perfect Christmas present. Thank you. So all the rest of them have to go back to the town. Thank you, Dan.
Madam Timer, may we receive a timer's report?
Julian spoke about the horse and his favorite dish for 1 minute and 36 seconds. Gail talked about Ted the Kid for 1 minute and 21 seconds. And I talked about the Diva Kitty for 1 minute and 24 seconds.
Please cast your vote for the best animals offers, please. And before I relinquish control of the lectern, I want to share with you one last story on skilling up that I heard this motivational speaker, E.T., the hip-hop preacher, give at a college university. It really blew my mind and gave me some perspective. I won't do half the job that he did, but I'll shoot for it. There was a town full of people, and there was a lady. She was a single mother, and she had a son, and he was kind of a rebellious kid. He was constantly getting in trouble. So she begged the town guru, really the only wealthy guy in town, to meet with her son and share with him some life lessons. And the kid begrudgingly went, only so that he could be a contrarian. But when he got to the town guru's house and saw how big and mighty it was, he thought to himself, maybe I need to listen to this guy. So he said, Mr. Guru, would you please show me how in the world you did this? And he said, yeah. Meet me at the beach tomorrow at 7 a.m. and I want you in a suit and tie. So next morning rolls around, the kid's kind of pissed. He's in his suit and his tie. There's the guru at the beach at 7:30 in the morning. The guru walks out into about chest-deep water and says, I need you to follow me out here. The kid's like, man, this is my only suit. He goes, I guess you don't want to learn my life lessons. So the kid walks out into the chest-deep water. The guru takes him by here in his head, and he holds him under the water, like for 30 seconds. And the kid is struggling mightily. The guru's holding him down until he's going to have to come up and gasp for breath. The kid finally comes up, gasps for breath, says, man, you're crazy. What the hell are you doing? And the guru said, when you want what I have, as much as you wanted to breathe under that water, you're going to have it. So when you think about the things that you do or don't have in your life, do you want them that bad? Because once again, you're probably in denial otherwise. Our general evaluator for tonight is grateful for all of the opportunities that Toastmasters has offered him. And we're glad he's here. And participating as general evaluator, it gives back to the club. There is no greater thing in this world than service. Get that through your head. The general evaluator gives his opinion on the way the meeting was conducted, from the setup, before the start, and all other aspects of the meeting. In this manner, it provides an opportunity to improve on the next meeting or try to emulate the next meeting as well as this one. It is an honor to be general evaluator. Please help me welcome Charlie Bombalier, our general evaluator.
Thank you, Jonathan. First thing, as an evaluator, I have to evaluate these classes. The dollar store guaranteed that it would last 30 days. It's been 4 days. So forgive me for being the one-armed bandit, actually. Okay. Of course, we all know that general evaluator's job, as Jonathan described so eloquently, is to evaluate the meeting, which I will do at the end. But the most important part is actually for the speakers, because this is a time for them to learn how to improve on the speech they just did. Without wasting further time, because I think we're running a little short, I want to introduce our first evaluator. Our first evaluator this evening has already determined a few key areas with the Toastmaster agenda that he wants to improve on. Although he hasn't actively signed up as an evaluator for some time now, he keeps getting assigned it for some reason. He doesn't care because he needs to practice. Here to hone his ninja evaluation skills, please help me welcome Sensei Dragon Claw, Drunken Cat, Tiger Paw, Mark Walkery.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmasters, and once again, the invisible guest. But especially you, Micki D. Tonight is speech number 8 for you, getting comfortable with visual aids. And I've broken this down into a few sections. First, let's talk about your stage presence. Micki D, when you came up here, Jonathan compared seeing you speaking like a Bigfoot sighting. But you don't have big feet. I know this because I could see your feet. And I could see your feet because you weren't hiding behind the left turn. So kudos to you on that. Every time I see you up here, even though it's not as often as I'd like, you appear more comfortable and confident. And that's one of the reasons why we give so many speeches in Toastmasters. So I am seeing steady improvement in your speaking ability. So let's talk about structure for a second. Easily, opening, body, and conclusion, the 3 key elements to a speech. I noticed them all in your speech tonight. With the timeline of the Toastmaster history, it was also very informative. With the content, I always learn something new about Toastmasters every time I come here, and tonight was no exception. For instance, tonight I learned that we have 14 regions in 126 countries. I didn't know that. I also learned that I am a magical ingredient in the Toastmasters' success. Now, I've been called many things in my life, but magical ingredient was never one of them, so thank you again for that. Also, the first contest I was here, when somebody said the governor was coming, I expected Rick Scott to walk through the door. And now I know Mary Carroll is our governor. Also, June 2003 was our Central Florida Facilitator's origination. Now let's talk about your delivery. The first word out of your mouth when you got up here was disaster. Disaster, unfortunately, is something that happens often in the business world and in presentations, for technology often fails us when we need it the most. I want to commend you on delivering your speech with the problems we had with technology. When working with PowerPoint presentations, I will make one recommendation though. In the future, it's always nice to have a plan B. So maybe have some printouts of your slides in case we have a technology mishap in the future. That way the people in the audience can still follow along with your presentation. Overall, I must say, Micki, I really enjoy listening to you speak and I can't wait to hear you again. Mr. General Evaluator.
Evaluator is here tonight to offer a few key suggestions to Jorge's speech. It is the hope these tips will assist everyone in the room to skill up as they prepare their future speeches. Sarah is constantly working on mastering the skills of the evaluator. Please help me welcome Sarah Hunt.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Hello, Toastmasters. Dr. Jorge. Bad medicine. Good topic. I liked how your opening connected different thoughts that we may have had. I definitely was with the Bon Jovi. It's the only thing I could think about. But others may have thought about not only the song, but the movie or the book. So that was very interesting how you used those three pieces to lead into your speech. I'd like to tell you two of the things that I felt were very strong in your speech. The supporting points were a key factor when I read the criteria for what you were doing. This is a research speech. I'm a confident communicator. It's the speech number 7. And so the supporting points, as you went through the different antibiotics, the inflammation, the two stories were very key when it came to tying in the facts with what could happen when they are misdiagnosed. So the model from Argentina and the man from India, you used those and they were very severe in the implications of what happened when you took this bad medicine. The second area that you did well, in addition to the supporting points and that great opening, I felt your voice was very strong overall. You're very poised when you stand up here. You're very doctor-like. And I thought that exuded your presence as you were here going through a lot of facts that can be quite difficult for people to decipher. I have a couple of recommendations on how to improve your speech. The biggest recommendation is I would have liked to have been crystal clear about your message. I questioned, did you want to have us be more informed consumers? Or you were very adamant about, I am anti-antibiotics and and inflammatory drugs. So I think if you could go back and reiterate that message so we really knew what you were saying to us at the end of all the different descriptions, that would have added a lot of benefit to the speech. You were asked to provide numerous sources or use numerous sources, whether it was from the library or different citations. And I didn't hear where you gathered the knowledge, but if you could reference a couple of facts, or it could be journals, whatever you used, that would have helped provide just more credibility to how you did thorough research when you give us the facts. And then in terms outside of the structure and that part of the speech, I think the body language, and I'll go back to those two stories, because stories are very powerful. You could have strategically used those 2 times to be more animated or more emotional and come out and use some body language. Dr. Elias, thank you for sharing your medical knowledge and helping us decipher the good from the bad medicine.
Moving right along, I want to introduce our third speaker. This person is just a little Cuban and knows not much English, you know, a little broken English here and there. And he's going to try to evaluate a young lady that comes here once in a blue moon, but it's always exciting when she's here. To introduce this third evaluator, please help me welcome Charlie Bangalier. He's adorable. Toastmasters, Mr. General Evaluator, and Lynn. Your speech was built on the book, The Easy Bus. It actually fit perfect with the theme, Skilling Up. Here are some things that you did, whether you knew it or not, you did them excellent. Excuse my glasses, please. That'd be great. It was a great opening, asking a question to the crowd. You actually did very well in that respect, because you don't only ask one question as a big bang to open your speech, but you kept the audience participation several times during your speech, which was excellent. The other thing that I noticed is that you gave an inspirational quote, which was, "You are the driver of your bus." Very simple line, very powerful line. It gave us time, because we paused when you said that, to reflect on the comment, on the quote. You took control of the meeting by telling us about having the necessity to have vision, goal, and I can't read my writing, so I'm sorry. The law of attraction. You stood up here, if I can give you a couple of little hints, and you did an excellent job of not using notes, but you kept pacing rather rapidly back and forth, which was making me think that I was in a tennis match, following you back and forth. But you did pause at certain times, which was good. Other times, you kind of sped up your speech. I don't know if you were afraid you were going to lose time, but those little things, if you can perfect those a little more, add them up, and they will equal mastering your speeches. Seriously, I haven't heard you speak much. And I know you haven't been making speeches, but it's awesome that each time that I have heard you, you do a great job and get more powerful each speech. Mr. General Evaluator. May I have a timer's report, please?
Mark spoke for 3 minutes and 4 seconds, so he qualifies. Sarah spoke for 3 minutes and 26 seconds, she qualifies. And Charlie, you spoke for 3 minutes and 12 seconds, so you qualify. So all the time,
If we have the grammarians report, please. Please vote for the best evaluator as we get Tony to give us our grammarian report.
There were a lot of quotes this evening, and it was kind of fun to listen to them because they were all relevant to the theme and just relevant to why we're here. John started out with, we're going to launch into this meeting. He fell to his knees asking for mercy. Quote from Jim Rohn, don't wish the world were easier, wish you were better. This is almost like a Bigfoot sighting. Clever, clever. Most people overwatch the television. Could be a word. I like it. Lynn, you had a lot in your speech as well. It's time we take charge and drive our bus. We must have vision, goals, and persistence. I think the best part was, I don't get the beginning of the sentence, but having a Weight Watchers meeting at a country buffet. That's the point what you were trying to say. Good visual for us. Positive people, positive teams equal positive results. Jorge, the human body is a complex, marvelous machine. Micki, a quote from Smedley, we learn best in moments of enjoyment. Gail, heads for heads. Good on the spot. Mark, a unique and creative command of the English language, as always. Entertaining, you were here to hone your ninja evaluation skills. Okay, you don't have big feet. That whole little section was pretty good. And I'm a magical ingredient in Toastmaster success. As far as the word for the day, I'm not sure I heard it from the following people, so if I'm incorrect, please let me know. Lynn, Micki, Linda, Mark, Sarah. Otherwise, everyone knows who's for today. Thank you.
Gail L. Smith, can you give us the counter report, please?
I would love to. Sorry, guys. Yes. Jonathan Dunn, 30 cents. That's that kitty. Susan Morgan, 30 cents. Tony Giddles, 30 cents. Micki D, $1. Julian, 20 cents. Myself, 20 cents. Jorge, 20 cents. Lynn, 60 cents. Charlie, 40 cents. Mark, 20 cents. And Sarah and I didn't hear anything from Sarah. So Sarah, hey, pop it up. You got it? Mark, 20 cents.
Just like the true Republican that spends all my money at the casino, I will pay you out of my winnings.
Wait.
Thank you, Gail. At this time, I'd like to reintroduce, no?
You got to talk about the meeting.
I'm sorry. I'd like to introduce the general evaluator that has lost his mind. I must say that in all fairness, the Sergeant at Arms failed in his duties. Because if it had not been for the presidency, I would have probably gone over another 10 minutes in realizing the time. So I will work very hard in mastering the art of starting the meeting on time. Other than that, however, I think we sort of went back into the Hollywood theme because we scared our guest right out of this room, unless he got lost looking for a restroom. All the speakers did an exceptional job. I love the theme of the meeting. I think it was very upbeat speeches, all of them. Even though your speech, Jorge, was kind of sad, but it was still an uplifting and very well done speech. I want to end this meeting on time, so I'm going to relinquish my position to one of the best friends I've ever had in my life, Jonathan Dunn.
At this time, you take out your last remaining slip and vote for the most improved Toastmaster. Now that we have that vote, I think, does anybody else, would they like a 50-50 raffle ticket? There are no remaining 50-50 raffle tickets to be purchased. I think it would be an appropriate time to go ahead and pick the winning ticket.
Yeah. Well, thank you, generosity. $71 was put into this kitty, so the winner will get $31.50. And we will have, who would like to put their hand in here? Linda, you had everybody put their hand in your little box. I'm so sorry. 0, 9, 3, 8, 9, 0.
Dang it.
Woo! Is that you?
What's the last two numbers?
90.
90.
990? Yep. Last name 890. Oh, 890. Yep, 890. Oh, that's me. You're allowed to win.
Now, I know Tony and Gail are helping line up next week's meeting. My favorite ladies, do we need any help with the sign-ups that are going on right now?
Micki can read it off.
Okay.
Almost full.
Toastmasters, Gail. Speaker, Charlie. Speaker, Stephen Morgan. We need a third speaker. Yes, no. Would you like, is anyone that would like to speak?
You want to practice your speech or whatever? Rest. Okay.
General evaluator, Tony Peters. Evaluator, Susan. We need a second evaluator. Susan's available? Are you available?
Yes, sir. I can.
Second,
John.
John?
Yeah.
Okay. And timer Jorge, accountant, Julian C, Marian, Mark Lowry.
I heard heard my name for what?
Yes.
What?
It's, I'll count.
Oh, I'll count.
Yeah.
And this, and the theme?
The theme is a very
The
interesting.
theme is passion, persistence, practice, and partying.
Woo!
Right.
Woo!
Like that.
I'm telling you.
Passion, persistence.
4 P's. 4 P's.
What was the third P?
Practice.
Okay, practice, that's the one.
Sounds like a professional football.
Now here is an announcement. Next week we'll have a officers meeting. Are there any other announcements? Any other announcements? Yes, Ms. Duncan.
Okay. Piece of paper. We do have elections coming up, and there'll be an announcement on the 19th. Is that the week after next week? In 2 weeks, there'll be an announcement of the slate, official announcement. However, so far, we are just needing one more person to step up. So what we have so far is Charlie for president, Micki for vice president of education, John for vice president of membership, Tony for secretary, Gail for treasurer, BP, PR is open, sergeant at arms. I'm actually not sure. I was hoping
Yeah, I mean,
Marshawn would step up.
Right, that looks like we got that one, but
Okay.
yeah, public relations.
I'd like to continue with that one possibly.
Oh, good,
We're
good.
in. So we have a full slate. That does not mean if other of you would like to step up, you can. We'll just have a runoff. The other thing is I am chairman of our banquet this year. It is our final meeting date of the year, which is Wednesday, December 17th. Charlie, are we confirmed for this room?
Yes.
Yes, so we're confirmed for this room. Are we confirmed for fans in the room? Do we know anything about the air conditioning? No.
I didn't ask actually about the air conditioning, but I will.
Okay, thank you.
Should
We
we
have
open
Steve.
the windows?
No.
No.
They said we could open them. If
We can on the day, rather
Shut
than.
Because I mean, it's nice and cool.
Yeah, it is good. So internally it may be better. Stephen Morgan has stepped up to be master of ceremonies. John is in charge of food. Micki D is in charge of programs and certificates. Gail, we do decorations and food, that area. We need trophies and raffle. Susan, trophies, everyone's experienced trophy buyer. And we'll have a budget after the meeting next week. We'll do a raffle again, and we're looking for a keynote speaker, actually, with all this conversation on email about Carl. Stephen Morgan suggested we ask Carl to come in and just sit with us or be part of the presentation. It's sounding like that isn't going to really happen, but maybe we can do something to honor him and let him know, or sign a card, or have a little celebration of all Toastmasters contributions, something like that. Good.
Thank you, Tony. Any other announcements? No way.
Just next week, if someone would remind, is it next week, I'm Toastmaster, but is it the following weekend, have conferences?
It's next weekend.
Okay, yeah.
Well, the weekend of that.
We need to take,
It's not this weekend, it's the next week.
yeah, whatever, but we need to take our banner, and our president should represent us in walking in, but we were going to be in a conference, I'm not sure that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I was looking at the agenda today. It looks like I need to be there at 5 for a briefing, so.
The vice president of education usually does.
Should we take both banners or?
We could, they probably won't, maybe,
No.
let's just say.
That one.
Yeah, we'll
Just
just
take
take
that.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's way more prestigious.
Unless, you know, we talked at one time of taking this off of its dowel and sewing it on the backside of that, so we have money. And if that's a possibility, I would pull out my sewing thread if you guys would do that.
But the problem is that then we can't show like both our.
Juilliard?
No, I'm done.
All right, it's awards time. Let's get the hands a knocking. Kim Chastain Award this evening goes to a Toastmaster, and there was actually a lot that went above and beyond the call of duty to help out Carl, set it up, although Tony helped, but we're going to give it to Gail tonight. The best table topics speaker this evening goes to Das Jefe. Just one was good. Just one was good. Yeah, just one was good. And then one solo. Best Evaluator Award this evening. Really great evaluations by everybody. That must have been a hard choice. But it's going to go to our lovely lady from across the pond, Sarah Hunt. The most improved this evening is going to go to Micki Dumatrescu. Goes to, that was a great job. I do remember what you did before, and I thought I was looking at a totally different person. You must have obviously skilled up. Lynn A. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you on the beaches around the world. The meeting is